All right, we are live Thursday night bass fishing live. Welcome back. It
Been
is
a
the
while.
return. The what?
It's been a while.
It's the return of bass fishing live, which is Joshua's project that he has not worked on
Yeah,
in several
I've
weeks.
I've failed for a bit.
So
I have.
never was a very good student, thus the army path. But here we are. We're back, and hopefully better than ever. A lot of things has happened in the bass fishing world since we last aired. KVD fished his last tournament.
Yep. Yep.
Both a celebration and a sadness. Jackson here finally came away with the top trophy,
Yep.
right after a few years of battling. Um, and lots of other stuff. What else has happened? Any other big? I tell you, Joey Cifuentes, man, he's won two. And
Yeah.
if you're not familiar with Bass Fishing Live, we talk a lot about tournament fishing and bass fishing in general. Joey Cifuentes, though, is won two. He's a rookie, and he's won two Bassmaster Elite Series events, which is impressive.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
and it
I just
also seems like everyone's winning on Jackson. I have no idea what you used on your tournament. We'll talk about it. It seems like every tournament is won by a swim bait now. Is that because forward facing sonar? Is that why? But it just seems like a resurgence. I don't know about research, but just a rise in swim bait action. Am I wrong?
The forward-facing sonar debate.
Not a debate, but is that why there's more swim baits? I feel like there's more people, winning with swim baits. At least it's on their deck now, more than
I mean,
usual,
it doesn't matter where you go in the country right now. If you don't have a swim bait, like a little one, on a
right.
rod,
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
or something like that, tied on, and you have forward-facing sonar, you're wrong.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, it catches those fish that were previously uncatchable.
Yeah.
Was that
Bubba
not?
Buck Adventures says, "Hey y'all, hey listen, if you're watching, we have a handful of people watching, trying to grow this on Thursday nights. So make sure you let us know. You comment, let us know where you're watching from. Bring all the comments, all the questions, all the concerns and complaints. We want them all, and share this on your page. We really would appreciate it. So, I think going back to last year's Bassmaster Classic at not Santee Cooper, Hartwell, Lake Hartwell.
Yeah.
When Jason Christie won it, and he won it on a swim bait that had not been released yet. It was his prototype swim bait with Yum, and that's what he won it on. And it feels like ever since then, I've just noticed that. So
Wasn't the classic the same way this year? Wasn't?
I have no idea. It was that. No. It was on a. Well, sort of. It's sort of the same. It's a fluke style bait that Gustafson won it on a Demiki rig.
It was like a
pretty
small
much.
little.
But he used three different sizes of Z-Man jerk shad. He used three different sizes. So sort of though, it's still a fluke style bait.
Yep.
And with that win that Gussie, did there at the Classic, that's a technique that's been used up here forever.
Yeah.
And you used to have to do it with just straight 2D sonar, and you still can.
Right.
A lot of people still do. He was just able to maximize, the amount of fish that he caught on forward-facing sonar. And
it's funny you say that, because like the first 2 days, maybe the first 3 days, the wind was perfect, and then everybody was saying on the last day, they're like, Gussie's waiting for that wind, and I don't think he's gonna get it.
Slick calm last day.
Lucky he got 3 fish and pulled it off. Man, he cut it close.
Yep, he cut it close. I got it. We've never really called it a Demiki rig,
What do you guys call it up there? Molten? Do you call it molten? That's what they call it in Canada.
Moping.
Yeah.
Moping. I mean, some people call it that. Honestly, it's just a ball head jig and like a minnow type bait. A lot of people fish live minnows up here for walleyes.
Yeah.
And that's where it really originated from, I think. But I mean, man, it catches fish if you can do it right. But you still can do it on 2D sonar. It's 100% possible to do. You don't need it.
I read maybe not today, but I saw there's two things that I wanted to bring up. But since we're on forward-facing sonar, I read that people are seeing fish kind of wise up to it. Like the closer you get with it now, the farther the fish are getting away. You need to stay farther away and cast, which is everything, right? I mean, it's everything you use. They're going to wise up to it eventually. And, it had a lot of people saying, hey, it's not just because you see them don't mean you catch them. So
that's true.
I
have experienced firsthand fish that will not bite when you have forward-facing sonar turned on.
Yeah.
They're I mean, people can argue this all day, but I have seen it multiple times where as soon as you turn that live scope, that's what I have. As soon as you turn that live scope off and you understand that the fish are there, they will not bite with it turned on. But as soon as you turn it off and wait a few minutes, they'll start to bite.
Yeah.
They understand that pinging in the water and what that means. They do. They do. I've seen it in Florida.
That is the first time I've heard that.
Florida, they always turn their graphs off in Florida.
Yep.
That's something they've always done.
In Florida, I've witnessed it up here. I was on Sturgeon Bay a couple months ago, and I mean that you may as well not even have it because those fish are conditioned to it.
Right.
They are.
Yeah. Scott Butler's with us tonight.
He says, wake up.
What's up, baby? It's been a while.
Jackson, what are you drinking?
Just some Sprite and
water. There you go. Scott said, I've heard the same talking about forward-facing sonar. Jackson, so tell us about you. You won a few weeks ago.
I did.
Was it BFLs?
Nope. It was a Cabela's Big Bass tour that came to Crosse. It's a national tour that I guess started coming here this year. This is the first year that came here. I mean,
when you say Big Bass tour, did you have to? Is it the single Big Bass wins, or was it five fish bag?
No, it was a single big fish won it.
Nice.
So I actually won it twice. I got first and second, technically.
You had the two biggest fish.
Yep, I had the two biggest. I mean, a guy, a local stick. I mean, he can catch them. His name is Dan Moen, or Moen. I can't really remember how to pronounce his last name. I don't know him in face to face, but I would recognize him. He had a 4.
Is that your winner right there?
Yep, that one right there is the winner. That one took the cake.
That's the $50,000 fish right there.
Yep.
All right, so Dan had the 4 what?
He had a 491, and I was fishing pool 7, and I went to this spot that I had graphed, I don't know, a week before, and I had some guys up here with me, and man, we caught them, and we caught all kinds of fish off this spot. And I pull up there, and there's a guy sitting on it. And I hadn't caught a fish all morning. And there's a guy sitting on it, but I recognized the boat. And I pulled up there, and I asked him if I could fish, because I knew he wasn't fishing the tournament.
Yeah.
And he gladly waved me in, and we started fishing. And you could keep 3 fish in your live well, according to tournament rules. And I had 3 that were good 3-pounders, like tournament quality fish here on the Mississippi. But I made a decision to pull the plug on that I bet I caught 40 fish off that spot. When they quit biting top water, I threw a trap. When they quit biting the trap, I drop shot at them. I mean, it was awesome. Perfect scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
But they kept getting smaller and smaller, which is pretty normal. And so I pulled the plug. I grabbed a mag draft, great big one.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to a place that I have caught big ones in the past. And I just figured I was going to throw it around for 20 minutes. If I didn't get a bite, I was going to leave. And I pull up there, and there's a walleye boat sitting right on the waypoint, like right dead smack on it. And I pull up there, and I ask him, I said, hey, I'm fishing this tournament or whatever. Do you care if I just throw this big bait around for a few minutes and see what I can catch? And they were excellent people. I guarantee they aren't watching this. I can't even tell you their names.
Yeah.
But they were excellent people to, talk to. And I threw that mag draft around for, I don't know, 10 minutes, and that first one bit. And
is that the biggest one?
No, that was the smaller of the two. I hooked her, and I was getting her to the boat, and I barely got her in the net. I mean, she was just skin hooked, just barely. And I got her in the net, got her in the boat, and I held her up, put her on the scale. My scale always reads a little light, and it was 414. So I knew it was close to 5 because it's always light. Mine has always been light. And I told the guy that said, well, because you let me fish here, this might have just won a boat. And I didn't know it at the time, but that fish would have won the tournament.
Yeah.
But I drove back in, and I weighed her, and she was $4.99.
There you go.
Not a 5, whatever.
Your luck.
Yep. Well, she got put, in the live release tank and whatever, healthy as can be. And I had them I had to take out, my smallest 3-pounder to put her in the box.
Right.
To take her back because you can only have 3. So I had 2 other 3-pounders. One of them was like a 350 something that I was going to weigh in that next hour, because every hour you can weigh in, and the biggest fish of every hour wins $1,000.
Oh, nice.
So I obviously won the 1,000 for that hour.
Yeah.
And I had like 20 minutes until the next.
So at this point, did you know she was the big fish of the tournament?
Yeah. Yep. I knew that I was leading the tournament after that.
Oh, cool. But you still were you still a little nervous?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because there's some guys that catch them up here.
Oh,
I mean, they know this river way better than I do. Yeah. I mean, I've only lived here technically 2 full years now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they can catch them. And Dan, he was on a tear. I mean, he was pulling them $1,000 checks like nobody's business. I mean, he was on. So
Scott says, sounds like a big bass bonanza. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah,
what it is.
Essentially, yeah.
Just a different sponsor, I guess.
Yep, it's Cabela's. Just put on by Cabela's.
Yep.
So I had 20 minutes or so until the next hour came up. It was 10 to 11 or 11 to 12, whatever it was. And I went back out, I don't know, for 10 minutes probably, just to cast around. And I went to a spot that's always been good to me. It's a history spot. I hadn't fished there all year. I just pulled up there, and I got to give a shout out to Tom Mansour, because he builds.
Shout out to Tom.
Yep, that he builds these jigs that I buy from him, and I had one of them tied on. I reached in a rod locker, grabbed it out, and I was throwing it, and I got snagged, and I wasn't catching any off this spot, so I just tooled on up there, got my jig back, and when I was like backing off, backwashing the whole thing with a trolling motor, I threw off to the side, off the ledge, and I just let the line go down to the bottom. And when I got back to where I wanted to be, I started bringing it in, and it just got heavy.
Oh yeah, there
You
you
know,
go.
it just got heavy, and I knew I fished a spot 100 times. I knew that there wasn't anything out off the ledge that would make that jig get that heavy, and so I just reeled down and set the hook, and I thought it was a drum at first.
Oh,
The way it kept digging on the bottom because there's a lot of drum out in that area of the river. And then she come up and tail whipped on the water.
you got excited.
And then I got excited. My net was strapped into the boat. The boat was a mess. I wasn't expecting another 5-pounder to come in the boat. So I reached down and like bear hugged her and threw her into the cockpit. And I realized after I had put the fish in the boat that my jig didn't come with the fish. The jig was in the water. So it was just skin hooked
So you barely had her, yeah.
And when I grabbed her and threw her in the boat, the jig came out.
Gotcha. So both of yours you caught by the skin of their teeth, so to speak.
Yeah, and when I had my GoPro rolling, and when I reviewed the footage, you can see where the hook was in a cull tag hole or something.
Yeah.
Like she had been caught before. There was a hole in her mouth, and that's where the jig was. It wasn't in anything.
Yeah.
So it was just unbelievable. I mean, it was my day.
It was.
There's no other way to put it.
Right.
And you came away. I'm going to go ahead and show. I'll share.
That's what I was about to say too, Jackson. You know, kind of want to share just your whole backstory too, man, because I mean, even like you fished tournaments when you were younger.
Yep.
Right. And then I met you, I think it was the beginning of 2019 when I met you. I want to say I fished probably 4 or 5 tournaments with you. But did you fish tournaments the whole time while you were in Kentucky? At LBL, wherever. And dude, it's been a long haul for you, but now we're looking 5 years later. Dude, I was literally scrolling through Facebook, and all of a sudden I see a picture of you with a fish. I'm like, oh, that's a nice fish. And as I went to scroll, I read like something about you winning, and I thought, wait a minute, what? And I scrolled back up, and sure enough, you had ended up taking the W. And I thought, well, he got him a W. I'm happy for him. And I thought at first it was like a local tournament, and then I was like, oh no, wait, this was a big tournament.
Yeah, this was a big tournament.
I was super happy for you, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, there were 3. Don't quote me on this, but from what I heard, there were 300 anglers in this event.
Oh, no doubt.
And I mean, there's people that tour this. I mean, they go around the country and tour this tournament.
Yeah.
I talked to a few of them that were from Michigan, Arizona, Florida, Texas. They were from all over the place.
Yeah.
So you won. So you had the 2 big fish. Did you win $2,000 plus the boat? Is that what you came away with?
Yep. Because I won both hours, which was $1,000 a piece, and then I ended up winning the whole thing, which was for the boat.
Yeah.
What did you? What was the entry fees?
You could fish 3, 2, or just 1 day. I couldn't fish Friday because I had to work, but I didn't even know if I was going to fish Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I didn't have the money to enter this tournament. I ended up putting the entry fee on a credit card.
You're going to be able to pay that off.
Yeah, it worked out. But I mean, I was talking to my neighbors, and they're fishermen too, and they kept razzing me. They're like, Jackson, you got to fish it. Man, I can't.
There you are on the Big Bass Tour Instagram page.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was literally like, am I gonna struggle to pay the bills this month because I'm gonna be out like $200, or am I gonna go try to make some money on this thing? And I ended up making a little money.
Nice, man. Good for you, bro.
It was It was.
You got this boat. What is it? A Z18, not 2023 Nitro Z18? Am I saying that correctly?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, that Z18, it's not like your bare bones Z18.
No,
it's loaded.
Yep. Well, I mean, loaded for like a guy that can get in it, go fishing, have nice equipment.
Right.
And I mean, he can fish. I mean, he can compete with what's in that boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
W.O. I think said it best. He said, "Wow, that's gutsy. No risk, no reward."
That's right. I mean, I literally I didn't have the money. I put it on a credit card, fellas.
Well, dude, I'm glad it worked out for you. I really am.
You won $2,000. The boat retails at about $52,000.
Yep.
You've got it for sale for less than that. So if anyone's looking for a boat, Tennessee Bassmasters here. I think Tennessee's a teenager. I think your dad should buy you that boat, Tennessee. You guys drive up there to Wisconsin. I'm sure Jackson will meet you halfway.
Oh yeah,
you guys buy
I will make somebody a hell of a deal on that thing.
Oh yeah,
it's all in the green for me. And if I can get somebody especially a high school kid, man, I mean,
that's a heck of a boat.
Let's make a deal.
It is, man. It really is. It's a great. I've seen what you priced it at, and it's for that boat. That's a very, especially in today's world.
Oh yeah,
boats are through the freaking roof right now, dude. It's ridiculous.
I mean, you can get a brand new boat with warranty on all of it: the boat, the hull, the graphs, the trolling motor, and the engine.
Yeah,
for under $50,000.
Yep.
I got it priced right now at $45,000, and if somebody comes and makes me a good offer, man, it's yours. Like, especially if it's a high school, college team, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll make them.
What's crazy about that too, man, is and I'm not just saying it because you're on here, but dude, I've priced some like bass trackers and aluminum boats with good equipment, and they're more than 40,000. So the fact it's fiberglass boat, I'm sure it has an Ultrex on it.
Yep, it does.
Yeah, autopilot, graphs, all that good stuff. Like, it's a heck of a deal, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's got two Helix MSI pluses, Gen 4s. They're all linked with the trolling motor. It's an iPilot link. I mean, it's ready to go. I can't believe I haven't sold it yet. But
Scott Butler just said surprised it hasn't sold yet.
Yeah,
I am too. I figured it'd be gone. But it's just the time of year. I think
especially up here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at. Well, we're getting into the middle of August, toward the end of August. I mean, you got to think by November, there's not a whole lot of boats running around anymore until April.
Yeah.
It's just hard water. It's frozen. So it's a hard time of year to sell a boat up here. But, I mean,
it'll sell.
It'll go.
And it's not going to lose value. Just don't be out there running around in it.
Right. I mean, that's my trolling motor on my big boat actually broke about a week after that big bass event.
Yeah,
and
you're tempted to switch it out.
I was tempted, but I knew that it wasn't a good idea. And I mean, shout out to Minn Kota. They took care of me really good. And got me a new loaded shaft very quickly. So the big boat, the Z20 is up running again, and we're gonna win some more money with that thing this year.
There you go.
Now I thought for some reason I remember us talking. Wasn't you about to trade the Nitro in and get a new boat a couple months ago?
Yeah, kinda. There was a deal that came up that I thought was going to work out as kind of like a boat deal thing.
Right.
And it fell through like a lot of them do. But I mean, there was a time this last winter where I didn't even know if I was going to be able to keep it.
Right.
Just because the money that had to, pay for it.
Yeah.
We're not going to have to worry about that anymore for a while.
Right.
So it's going to stay in the garage. It's going to.
I told John as soon as I seen you'd won, I said, dude, I said, once he sells this one, he's had that boat. Well, you had it 3 years?
Almost 3 years now. Yep.
I told him, I said, dude, I said, honestly, he might be able to be close to paying his boat off with that money.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, it depends on what I sell the other one for, but the end goal is to pay the Z20 off and be free.
Buy another one. Buy a new one.
No.
Hey, Joe Carter says, where can I get in one of these tournaments? Joe, there's 3 left. I was looking this up. I was going to ask Jackson, as it gets colder up there, if he's going to come south. End of September, Smith Mountain Lake, Virginia. They have some big fish. I'm sorry?
Is that the F1 lake?
They do have the F1's Tiger Bass there. October 6th to the 8th, Douglas Lake, which is in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, or Sevierville, Tennessee. I've heard that's Douglas Lakes went down a little bit in the last couple of years. I don't know. I've never fished it. And then October 12th and 15th, it's a 4-day event, which I'm guessing is Thursday through Sunday, maybe. Gunnersville Lake in Alabama. And so
what day was that one on?
It's October 12th through 15th. I'm going to look right here and see what days of the week that's on.
WLS, what brand of boat it is. It's a Nitro.
Thursday through the Gunnersville Lake tournament's Thursday through Sunday.
It's a Nitro Z18, W. Good deal. Hey, if you
Tennessee
all
Bassmaster says,
go ahead.
Tennessee Bassmaster says it was selling a couple of weeks down there, and he is in Dayton right on Chickamauga.
Hey, Tennessee Bassmaster, I will gladly meet somebody in Kentucky if they want to buy this boat.
Hey, I tell you what, let's do this. Tennessee Bassmaster, 14, 15 years old. If he can find someone to buy it, give him a little commission on it.
You bet.
There you go, man. Trying to get you some money here, Tennessee.
We'll make something happen.
Yeah.
100%. I will gladly meet somebody in Kentucky, maybe Tennessee, depends. Maybe not all the way down toward Chickamauga. That'd be like a 14-hour drive for me. But yeah, I'd make a little road trip just to get somebody that boat.
Yeah, Joe, those are single. Well, did you have a co-angler with you?
I did not. I chose not to.
Okay.
That event. Well, I guess I didn't really choose not to. I couldn't find anybody to fish it with me.
There you go.
So
Joe, you can fish by yourself. Biggest fish wins, brother. Just takes one. One cast is all it takes. Jimmy Carroll said he has a connection for a boat that would be just perfect for the tournament in Tennessee. I'm not looking, Jimmy, but Josh might be interested.
Not until, guys, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me because
he's trying to build a house. I don't know.
Trying to build a house right now. So once the house is built, then I will be 100%
broke.
Looking for a boat and be broke.
Broke.
You are not wrong. But hey, I was going to ask you guys a while ago. So Major League Fishing just released their new schedule.
Oh, really? I've not seen it.
I haven't seen it.
7 locations that have not been fished at before by Major League Fishing. One is in Kentucky. Can you guess what it is?
Kentucky.
Green River Lake.
Neither one.
Neither one? Oh, Lake Cumberland.
Nope.
Dale Hollow.
Yes, Dale Hollow.
Okay.
Dale Hollow. Yep. They're heading
how are they going to get around that slot limit?
You got me. It's funny.
It's going to be a tough tournament.
I seen Dale Hollow, and I thought, dude, I remember Jackson going down there and smacking them and couldn't weigh in enough fish because of the freaking slot limit.
Because of the slot limit. I threw back 2 5-pound smallmouth that day that were under the slot. They were a 1/4 inch short.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll never forget that. It wasn't you.
Now, are you sure? So, hold on a second.
It said 7 new locations on their Facebook page.
There's no way that these have never been fished by Major League Fishing.
I'm going to count.
Toledo Bend, Santee Cooper.
I don't think Major League Fishing has fished Toledo Bend.
No, they have not.
Okay, so maybe Bass has, but okay. So these guys are familiar with these. I mean, all these are popular lakes.
Dale Hollow, they haven't. I've never heard of what the Chowan River is.
I don't know.
Where do you even see that?
North Carolina, June 4th, Chowan River.
Oh, I was going in order date. So let me just show it.
Yeah, show it.
It looks like you're just kind of bouncing around.
I'm just trying to tell you exactly which ones they haven't fished. But I thought that's pretty cool. They're going to
schedule right here.
January 30th, they're going to Toledo Bend, Louisiana.
Slugfest.
Yeah, it will. Santee Cooper, which is South Carolina, February 20th. Then Red Crest and March 14th. Josh, it is in Alabama. You and I need to go to Red Crest this year.
I would like to. I really would.
Wonder what I just stuttered bad. What is the classic for 2024? Anybody know?
Classic, I believe, is a grand.
It is. I'm wondering the date, though. Hold on.
I don't know the date.
It's always around Red Crest, but it won't be right on it because – you've got guys that work the.
Maybe if it's around the same time, we go to Red Crest and save some gas money.
About a week apart. March 22nd is that one. So then Stage 3 at Del Hollow. I mean, that'd be a great one to go down to and just be a viewer. Lake Eufaula. Then the heavy hitters in Florida. They will have some big numbers there.
Oh, yeah.
Our guy, we had Bradley Roy, Kentuckian. Bradley Roy on our show talking about heavy hitters. He didn't qualify for next year.
What?
Yeah, he didn't qualify. I looked it up.
Man.
So the Chowan River, June. Then, of course, St. James and St. Lawrence. I mean, two massive smallmouth fisheries.
Yeah. And that's what I was about to ask you, Jackson. So Del Hollow that year that you fished. So everybody knows most of the time when you're fishing for smallmouth, you're in deeper water. Did you not decide to start flipping bushes and we're catching them smallmouth? Did I remember you telling me that?
No, because of the slot limit, I knew that it would take some largemouth to, get it done.
Right.
I just never got, a decent bite. What happened that day, I'll never forget this tournament because of them two great big giant smallmouth that I couldn't weigh in. But in practice, I had made a call to just go to the bank, go to the dirt,
right,
and flip around a little bit because we had a warming trend that week. And I found some largemouth up in some bushes that were good quality. I mean, they were good, nice fish.
Right.
And I left them alone for 2 days probably. Went and checked them before the tournament meeting, and no hooks on, obviously. And they were still there. That Friday night, we dropped about 20 degrees into a cold front, and it put them fish in a mood. I mean, they moved all over the place. That tournament was tough for a lot of people. I'm curious how they're gonna get around the slot limit and how that's gonna affect the MLF tournament, because that's a big deal.
It'll make it fun.
It's gonna make it interesting.
Jimmy Carroll says, time to hit the hay. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Hope to see you soon. Or hope to see you Tuesday night. If you don't know, Jimmy is fighting cancer, and his hashtag is Jimmy is greater than cancer. Yes, you are, sir. And we're all pulling for you.
Love you, Jimmy.
Come out better. Eric Hubbard says the Chowan will produce in June for sure. I fished some derbies down there. Glad to see you, Eric. It's been a while. We've not been on here, but when we are, Eric, we want you on here commenting. We appreciate you. And then Pico Outdoors, St. Lawrence is always an awesome spot. Great fishery. Miss fishing there. Last time, I think, or maybe last year, 2 years ago, that's where our friend Mike Huff, another Kentucky guy, did really well at the St. Lawrence. So the Kentucky guys usually do well on these smallmouth fisheries. Not sure why.
Have you guys seen the weights for the St. Lawrence Elite event today?
I did not. No.
But let's look at them.
Just look at the big bass.
Josh, before you look, what do you guess is the big bass today at the St. Lawrence River?
7.9.
7.9.
7.9 smallmouth?
Yeah.
Did you know, Josh? It sounds like you didn't know St. Lawrence was a smallmouth fishery. Did you know that?
I did.
Okay. 7.9 is a pretty outrageous guess.
It is. The only reason I'm saying so heavy is because Jackson's saying the weights are crazy. So
6'11". I mean, 7.9 is crazy. 6'11 is crazy, but 7'9". I mean,
well, that far off. 6
you
ounces.
trying to set the world record?
That wouldn't be the world record.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think the 5 fish weight is for the day? The highest. Bryant Smith is in the lead.
He was at 24 something when I looked at about noon, 1 o'clock. He's got to be close to 30.
I'll tell you this: there are 14 people with 24 more pounds. Isn't that wild?
Jesus Christ!
29.5 is the lead.
All right.
Chris Johnston and Cooper Gallant, 2 Canadians there. 28.3, 26.12. Our guy Kyle Welcher, who is in first place for Angler of the Year, is in 5th
Get him.
25.10. So if he finishes in the top 5, top 10 here, I think he'll have Angler of the Year.
Where did you say if Jay was up there?
Jay is 15th.
So
Man.
Jay Shakurit is 15th, and he's 4th in Angler of the Year.
If you look at the big bass, check out how many 6-pounder plus.
It only has the biggest bass listed. So I don't see
if you go to like leaderboard, and here, let me see if I can pull it up, because
yeah,
I found it.
Maybe Bass Track is where. So Bryant Smith caught a 5. I'm coming through somebody's computer very loudly.
Is that mine?
I don't know, maybe. But Bryant Smith caught a 5, a 5, a 6, a 5.8, and a 5. He literally, on 3 fish, caught my personal best 3 times and then broke it twice.
That's crazy, dude.
That's insane.
It's insane.
I mean, the weights that they're putting up is ridiculous.
It's insane, man. That is insane. That place, I really want to go to that place. I really do.
Yeah.
I'd like to go fish at least once.
Can you guys still see me?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know if it had lost my screen or not. So there
Scott
were 1, 2.
Scott was close. He guessed a 6.4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were
Tennessee
5 of them over 6 pounds.
5 over 6 pounds.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And there was, I can't even keep scrolling for how many over 5 there was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody had. When I looked at it, they all had over 5. Yeah.
Hey, I was going to ask you about this.
Oh, I
earlier.
see. You clicked on Phoenix Big Bass. Yeah.
Pickle Outdoors said my buddy caught an 8-pounder trolling spring walleye. They grow big. I was going to ask you, because I know you're a very great bass fisherman, but you're also a big muskie fisherman as well. Have you been muskie fishing since you've been back?
No. Muskie fishing's not going to heat up for me until we get into heavy fall.
Gotcha.
So is that when you right before things freeze up?
Yeah, pretty much. I typically like to go muskie fishing September time frame.
Did you ever go when you were in Kentucky?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Green River, you weren't too far from Green River, and it's supposed to be a very good muskie fishery. I mean, they stock them there.
I mean, it's not the north, but
no, but it's the best of the South though. Kentucky,
sure.
Kentucky, Cave Run and Green River. Yeah, it's the best of the South.
No.
So
Tennessee Bassmaster said he's caught 1 5-pound smallmouth in his life.
So have I. 1.
Yep,
I would like to catch 100 more.
I've caught a couple of them, but they are few and far between unless you get on them Great Lakes.
I caught mine at St. Clair, and I was so excited I literally reeled it to the tip of the rod. I was just trying to get it in. I reeled it all the way up.
I got the video.
Yeah, it was funny. Cave Run, Joe, and Green River. Those are the 2 musky lakes in Kentucky. I'd love to go musky fishing. I'm sure it's probably the same here. September, October is when it heats up.
Yeah, I mean that fall
March
time frame. There's a pretty big controversy right now, and with forward-facing sonar and musky fishing.
Really? I bet those things light up the sonar.
They do.
Yeah,
they do. I mean, you
clearly they're not a bass. Like they're not just going to snap at anything, right?
No,
I mean, it takes a lot of trickery.
And I mean, there's guys that are good at it.
Oh, I'm sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
I believe the professional muskie tour, whatever they call themselves, they actually banned live scope forward-facing sonar from their tournaments.
Yeah.
Good, bad. I'm not here to debate that.
What is? And Jackson, you may not know this. What is the reproduction of muskie like? Do they reproduce a lot? I mean, or is it slow? Or do you know?
It's
because here in Kentucky they're all stocked. They're all raised in hatchery and stocked.
It's slow. I mean, they call them the fish of 10,000 casts for a reason. I mean, there's not that many of them.
Yeah.
But if you know what you're doing and can like trigger a bite, I mean, I know guides that pull 30, 40 muskies a year.
Yeah.
Which is an unbelievable number. I mean, that's a lot of muskies in a year. I'll be lucky to get 3, 5 this year. I don't fish for them every day.
And you'll be happy with that.
Oh, yeah. I'll be happy with 1.
Yeah.
I mean, they are tough to catch.
Yeah. Speaking of, I mentioned smallmouth world record a while ago. And they're in St. Lawrence, so that's New York.
Yep.
So it could have been 7.9 could have been the smallmouth record in New York. That's bigger than the fish the guy caught on Lake Erie. That was the Lake Erie record. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I do want to share. Kentucky can lay claim to the smallmouth world record. Caught in Del Hollow Lake. That guy right there. You ever seen that?
Big.
Seen that?
Oh yeah.
Is it still showing it or did it switch?
No, I can see it.
Yeah, so that is 11. I think it was 11 pounds, 12 ounces. No, I'm sorry, 11 pounds, 15 ounces. So 1 pound from being 1 ounce from being 12 pounds, which is just incredible.
I mean, that's
Kentucky Afield.
How old that fish is?
Kentucky Afield talked to this guy. He lived here in Kentucky. And I may butcher this, but I'm pretty sure the story went is they went up in the arm of Del Hollow fishing, and I think he had caught a fish that he thought was really big, and it got away from him, and they were trolling. This was back 50 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. This is a long time. 1955, so 70 years ago. And then he went back to that arm and trolled and caught this fish. Now, I believe, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure he said that he thought there were bigger fish there at the time, which seems to be what a lot of folks say when they catch state regular. Like, there's bigger fish in that water, and there probably are. But maybe there's a 12-pounder still in Del Hollow. I don't know if we'll ever find out, but pretty impressive.
No.
Absolutely.
Hey, I was also going to ask you, Jackson, so the the fishing community, like when you figure out an area, it's pretty it's a tight knit. Everybody kind of knows everybody, right? And I don't know if you've talked about this, but I think it was last year or early this year. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was last year when the walleye guys got busted putting weights into fish.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know those knuckleheads at all?
I did not. No, not at all.
Yeah, I was curious if you'd maybe fished like a tournament that they were in or something, or
no.
But dude,
I think when it comes to fishing communities, you've got they are close-knit communities in their location. So right. Jackson probably knows a ton of walleye guys up in Wisconsin, but those guys are down in Ohio, so it's not.
Oh, yeah, that is right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was
that was in Ohio.
I believe that was Lake Erie.
It was.
It was Lake Erie.
I was thinking it was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and they were pretty well known in Lake Erie, and they were just not good guys. Just didn't care. Didn't care about the fish. And I want to mention this earlier. Speaking of caring about fish, Jackson, I guess when you fish a tournament, we didn't have, this week, I don't know how Wisconsin's been. It's been over 100 degrees here in Kentucky.
Yeah. We got over 100 yesterday for the first time since 2012.
Yeah. Wow. So I saw an article today. I thought it was Wired to Fish, but I went back and couldn't find it. I don't remember who it was that posted it. And it talked about that in this high heat, putting fish in the live well, the mortality rate is very high. Like a lot of them die putting fish in live well. You're in a tournament where, a $50,000 boat, a few $1,000 are on the line. You're bringing it in. Is there anything you do? Because there's nothing worse. First, we do a lot of kayak fishing, Josh and I do, and we catch little fish in the creek. And it just sucks when they swallow that Ned rig or something and they're probably not going to make it. I hate when that happens. It's even worse when you put a big fish in a live well and you get to the weigh in and it's floating, right? Yep. So it happens. We don't want it to happen. We want to throw those fish back. We want to grow the fishery. What do you do to stop that from happening? I know some people are really good at keeping their fish fresh and alive, not others. So what do you do to make sure those fish survive?
So the first thing, I'm just going to relate to this tournament because it was warm. It was a warm event.
Yeah.
First thing is ice. Keeping that water at a stable temperature that is essentially the water that fish come out of.
Yeah. So let me ask you this real quick. What if you're catching them in 90-degree water? Do you want to throw him in 40-degree water in your live well, or what do you, is there a way to balance that?
No, I mean, the best thing you can do is continuously pump fresh water into that live well.
Yeah.
Up here, that's hard to do, especially like that in that tournament a few weeks ago. There was still a lot of fish getting caught on a frog. And you really don't want to pump that like slime green yuck water, into that live well, especially if a smallmouth in there, and kill it instantly. So the first thing is ice. Keeping that water at a stable temperature. The second thing, I really believe in G-juice.
Yeah.
I really do. I've seen it work wonders.
Yep.
Now, how do you do it? Do you just put it in there? I've seen guys put it in a water bottle, freeze it, and then let it slowly seep out. How do you do that?
I do it all kinds of different ways. I got a whole freezer in my garage full of G-juice gallon jugs.
Yeah.
Water and G-juice mix for it. My live wells are 19 gallons a piece, and they're split. They're not connected whatsoever. So I can determine, which side I want to put a fish on and what temperature each side is at. Like sometimes I'll have a side for just smallmouth. Sometimes I'll have a side for just largemouth that, they come out at 85-degree water. The smallmouth came out at 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. So I will freeze water with G-juice in them. Run them recirc pumps on high.
Yeah.
When it's this warm, I mean, you have to.
Yeah. Everything you're saying right now, I talked to Jason Lambert about probably 2 years ago, and there was some controversy about it at the time, and I think
when is there not?
But it was specific. It was like it was something about catch and release. There was something going on, and I remember I asked him about it, and kind of the same question John's asking you, and it's literally like word for word what you're saying is what he does. It's like ice, G-juice.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, if you're not willing to take care of your fish in the live well, you have no business out there fishing anyways.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I agree 100%. If you can't take care of the fish, you shouldn't be in a tournament because obviously, I mean, look at these like these Elite Series guys. I've been to 2 classics and not one time have I seen a dead fish. Not once, because they're pros. They know exactly what to do so their fish don't die. So if you just do what you're supposed to do, It's not going to happen.
We had a tournament up here this summer, and I didn't fish it because it was a national tournament, and I'm not going to say the name of it just because there was a lot of heat that came with this trail that came here. They decided not to have a release boat, where you dump your fish in a pontoon with a big tank or whatever that's aerated, and they take them to some place and let them go. This tournament trail decided to dump them off the dock in 85-degree water.
Oh gosh, that's a disaster.
There were so many dead fish floating the next day. Wow. It was a 2-day event, I believe, 2 or 3 days, and every day it just got worse. It was bad.
That is the last thing you want to see as a bass fisherman.
The amount of dead fish that happened because of tournaments, I really don't know if it's because of the angler. This tournament trail heard about it. I mean, they got a lot of flack for it.
Yeah, they should.
I mean, they killed a lot of 3 and 4 pound bass out of this river. You could drive by one certain area and just see white bellies all over the place.
That's crazy.
But that's because they dumped them in 85, 90-degree water after they've been running around a live well all day, and they're disoriented. They're confused. They're stressed for one. I mean, that's the biggest thing. They're stressed. And they decided to dump them in 85-degree water, and it's where everybody's loading their boat. They're swimming around. I guarantee you some got chopped up by a prop.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. That's that's just negligence. And man, whether you're tournament fishing or not, we always just throw fish back. Like, we don't tournament fish, so we're not trying. I know some guys, even if they're not in a tournament, they'll keep them to take pictures with. I'm not against that as long as they take good care of the fish. But if I'm catching 3 and 4 pound fish, I want those 3 and 4 pounders to make future 3 and 4 pounders.
Right.
Yep. And I have seen way too many lakes just in my short span of fishing as an adult. I've seen way too many lakes take a sharp decline in the quality of bass fishing due to one thing or another, not necessarily due to killing fish by anglers or tournament directors killing fish, but for some reason. And, sometimes, especially here in Kentucky, it's hard to find a fishery where you can just go and catch quality fish, on a good day. I don't mean like in the middle of July. I mean like even in the spring. Sometimes it's hard.
Yep.
We don't have the world-renowned fisheries that some of the states around us have. So that's even more of a reason to take care of the fish. And I just hate, Scott said he's lost 2 fish this year due to them choking the bait. And sometimes that happens, and you just can't avoid it sometimes.
Yeah.
But man, it sucks. It sucks.
If you hook a smallmouth in the tongue, game over.
Yeah. Done. Yeah.
Game over.
You mentioned a while ago the props killing some of the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the other day, I can't remember who I was talking to at work, but they were talking about fishing, and somebody said Asian carp, and they were like, "Yeah, ain't that those fish that jump up out of the water?" And I started laughing. I said, "Yeah," and I said, "Let me tell you a story real quick." And dude, I'll never forget. Dude, it was like the second week that you had that new Ranger that you bought.
Yep.
And I was in the back, and we seen these fish moving. You hit the trolling motor one time, dude, and there's hundreds of them. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
they get in your boat? Were they in your boat?
Well, there was one that it jumped, and it landed right in front of me. And, of course, Jackson's not happy that this big Asian carp's on his brand-new carpet. Get that thing off, like trying to –
because they're disgusting.
And, dude, it instantly stained his carpet yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember you said you scrubbed forever to get that.
Ever.
Yep.
Yep.
Dude, I'll never forget that.
Man, that's funny. So Mark Lilly's son, he fished in a high school national tournament up where you are. He said he loved pool 8. I think you said you were in pool 7. He said loved pool 8. His boy fished the high school nationals there in June. And then talking about worrying about fish dying, they had 9.6 pounds and 3 fish on day 3. They came in an hour early because he was worried about losing a fish. Thought they had over 10 pounds, missed the cut by 2 ounces.
I got to give a shout out to that high school tournament that was here. They took really good care of their fish. They really did. Yeah. I know the kids that won that event. I know where they won that event, and they found a spot within a spot. And I'm so happy that them two did, because it was a sneaky little deal.
So they cheated pretty much.
No. I'm not saying they cheated whatsoever. I was sitting out there in my flat bottom because I wasn't running my nitro around that week.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on a little grass patch, and all of a sudden I see the rooster tails coming down the lake on Alaska. And I'm like, yep, here they come. And they bored right through right where they should have. And they stopped right where they should have. And it was the lead boat, the kids that were fishing, and a bunch of spectator boats, and they pulled right up on the juice.
Of course.
Good for them. They found a spot in a 40-acre stretch that had, I don't even know how many bass in it, and they were all big. They were all big fish.
Hey, that's the future, man. I love, I love the direction that bass fish is heading. Of course, bass fishing is heading. Of course, there's always controversy. There's always someone complaining, always something. But there's so many young kids that are getting into bass fishing at a competitive level.
Yep.
And one thing I love about it, Josh and I grew up playing sports. If I had a son, no doubt I would have him in football as soon as he was old enough.
Yep.
But you got a lot of kids that just can't do that. They're just not cut out for football, or they're not athletic enough for basketball, or they just don't like it. Mm-hmm. But, man, every kid can pick up a rod and reel and cast it.
They can.
They can learn how to do it. So I love that part about it. It's another reason why I love archery in schools, is that any kid can learn how to be an archer. So I love it. Austin says, as a bait maker, I always respect the fish. Fished my first ever tournament about 2 weeks ago and won it on the baits I make. Awesome experience.
That's awesome.
You can't beat that, man. Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's the cheapest way to do it, too.
Yep.
Make your own bait. Good for you, Austin. Well, fellas, it is 10 o'clock. I guess it's 9 o'clock for you, 10 o'clock for me. And I'm going to have to hop off here. But, Jackson, I'm so happy for you, man. I'm so happy you won.
Thank you. That was an unbelievable weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure that, how old are you, Jackson? Like 27, 28?
26.
26.
Yep.
Jackson's a youngin'.
Youngin'.
And, Jackson, I'm sure you have many, many more tournament wins ahead of you. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
What did you fish any of the tours this year? Did you do the BFLs this year?
Yeah, actually the BFLs, I mean, the first two were back-to-back because one of them got postponed. So it was a Saturday-Sunday event, and I sucked. I straight up sucked. I mean, I laid a goose on Sunday. I didn't fish the next two BFLs, but I will get in the BFL Super. I mean, I'm not going to make the regional or anything like that, but
you got plenty of time.
What's that?
You got plenty of time, plenty of years. Work your way up. Hopefully one day we keep this thing going and you come on live and you're fishing the Bass Pro Tour, or the Elite Series, or hopefully by then they're all back together.
I could see you doing it, man. I got faith in you. Are you still at Team Marine?
What's that?
Are you still at Team Marine?
Yep.
You are?
Yep.
I was going to say, Mark Lilly, I seen where you said that you were up there fishing in the Nationals with was it his son?
Yeah, his son was fishing. Mark wasn't.
Okay. I was going to say, if you're ever up in Mississippi, good Lord, I can't talk tonight. If you're ever up in Wisconsin, and need some boat work, go see Jackson over at Team Marine Service.
You know, I wish I would have known, and I probably did know that Mark's kids are fishing up there, and I just didn't think about hitting Jackson up and saying, "Hey, what what's got any tips for him?" But I didn't think about it. Next time we will. So Mark, here's what he said though. He said we found a honey hole day 3, but 90-degree weather. I just didn't want to lose a fish and didn't think our odds of culling a 2.5 was very good. So you never know, man. 90-degree weather.
That's hot up here.
Yeah.
Scott said, I guess you better win now. You get to my age, you're really gonna suck. You got 10 years. You're 10 years away.
Tell Kevin Van Dam that.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, fellas. Well, hey, we appreciate you. Look, Bass Fishing Live, we've had a decent audience.
We did.
If we've been doing this every week, we probably had Kevin Van Dam probably been watching by now.
Yeah. I mean,
we're going.
I'll take the fall. It's been a rough little bit.
It's been a rough decade.
It's definitely been a rough year and a half. And I'm back on track and I'm ready to rock and roll, dude. So
so
Jackson, we appreciate you coming on, man, and congrats.
Yep, absolutely, guys. That it's fun. It's always fun.
Yeah, and if you're listening and you're in need of a boat and have a good credit, Jackson's your guy. Go get him. Go get that boat.
Maybe we'll even deliver. We'll see.
He'll meet you at Kentucky Lake and show you a few spots. There you go.
Good.
That's a good incentive. That's a good incentive.
Yep.
So, all right, fellas, we appreciate you guys. Jackson, congrats, man. Best of luck to you, Josh. Holler at me here in a little bit.
See you, fellas.
See you guys. Have a good night.
Guys.